Hello YouTube, Captain Hep here, and we've got something just a little bit different today. This has really nothing to do with War Thunder directly, but a little bit of a different taste for you simulation pilots out there. I'm sure everybody's familiar with what it's like to fly in War Thunder in full simulation difficulty, but I want to give you guys a little bit of a taste of what a real simulator is like. Now, I'm sure everybody knows if you get into something like this B-17G in Sim, in War Thunder, all you have to do to start it is press I. All four engines fire right up, and you're good to go. There's really nothing else you have to do with your engines except manage the throttle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a startup procedure in this airplane, and I'm going to take a short flight in it. Maybe like just take off, fly around a little bit. You get the idea. Just to give you some basic idea of what it's actually like to operate one of these machines. And I gotta say, I am looking forward to this. This video is not scripted. I did not rehearse. I tried recording it a little bit earlier and it failed. Long story, but oh well, we're here. And everything seems to be working. So, for starters, memorize what buttons I actually have to push. This is the Accusim B-17. If you don't know what that is, Google it. It's not freeware. It's rather expensive, if I'm honest, but it's fantastically well detailed. Every little switch you see in here is point and click. And not only that, the sim actually also models things like wear and tear, and even a crew, which is sitting over there. Yes, there's a co-pilot sitting there. Can't you tell? No? Someone needs glasses. Oh well. Anywho, so I have to memorize this one. Yes. I do believe, and I hope you guys can see my mouse while I'm doing this. It's not the one this is what I'm looking for. See, for this plane to actually start, it has an APU, which is essentially a built-in generator, which we must turn on because we will otherwise wear down the battery on this thing just trying to start it. I'm sure you can hear that in the background. We're waiting for it. Wait for it.
Captain, power's coming online.
That's what I was waiting for. Alright. There we go. I'm sure you can all hear that. And now the batteries are being charged actively as we speak. By the way, and I don't know how well you can hear me with all this, but if you look down over here, this plane is actually equipped with fluorescent lighting throughout the fuselage and airframe. So this thing can actually run on its own generator and light its entire interior. If it needs to, you can do work on it outside of a hangar, out on the flight line, and it's a fully self-contained unit, which I think is really cool. Anywho, so I'm going to turn the beacon on over here. Then we're going to go down here. We are going to turn on all three batteries. And we're also going to turn on the hydraulic pump. I don't know how well you can see this. The hydraulic pressure right here is supposed to be in that green. So we're going to angle down here. Hold that on. And you can see the gauge is inching its way up. And it needs to be all the way into the green, which it'll now manage automatically. You can see the emergency system went off. And I can now apply the parking brakes. Whoop-de-doo. Step 1 is now complete. Now, what else I'm going to do, I'm going to turn off these control locks down here. We're not going to need the tail wheel locked at all. We've got the parking brakes on now as well. I'm going to open up that. Alright, now we're going to look over here, and we're going to start diluting the oil on all four engines. Now in real life you would actually leave these to run for a little while. Hello. Anywho, but I'm not going to, because it would take forever. So we're going to turn them off now. Hello. Now we're going to look over here, And we're going to raise this little red bar. We're going to turn on all 4 fuel shutoff valves. Push that back down. Now we're also going to turn on the master ignition. We're going to take all 4 ignition switches and switch them to both. Thank you. There we go. And then we've got the mixture already at full rich right here. Propeller controls are already set down here. Cowl flaps are going to go to full open. And almost done. Also checking to make sure that the filter is on. This would go off actually for higher altitude operation and cleaner air. Alright. And alright, so fuel boost for engine number 3. Now you can see right here, fuel pressure is coming up. Not engine number 3, engine number 2. Now we're going to look left, and we're going to engage the starter on engine number 2. Throttle is open to 1 inch. There's all kinds of smoke and stuff going on back there. Now we're looking over here, and I can see the RPM is coming up. This oil pressure here, RPM is over here, and it's right where we want it. That's 1,000 RPM. That's the low idle. If anything lower than that, and we risk fouling up the spark plugs and all that other good stuff, which is not what we want to do right now. Alright, turning off the boost pump for that engine. Now, turning on the boost pump for number 3, which you can see, fuel pressure is rising. We're looking right, and engaging starter on number 3. Oil pressure is up.
Oil pressure is rising.
Yeah, what he said. Fuel pressure is up. RPM is up. Everything is all hunky-dory. Turn off the boost pump there. Now engine number 1. Looking left.
Engine 1 starting.
There we go. Checking gauges.
Oil pressure is coming up.
Everything is good. Boost pump is off. Boost on for number 4. We're actually going to go outside for this. Alright, engine number 4.
Engine 4 is starting up. Oil pressure is coming up.
There we go. Let's go back inside. Boost pump is coming off. While I'm thinking of it, I'm going to set the turbo supercharger boost control for maximum safe power. That'll be for takeoff. Lock that back in place. And now we're looking down over here. Engine generators coming online. Inverters coming online as well. And now we can finally turn off the APU.
Yes, sir.
While he's doing that, we're going to check flaps operation. There's a switch down over here. You can see them coming down in the back. The flap gauge is right here.
Flaps down.
Now we're bringing them back up again. And if you watch over here, actually, the hydraulic pressure, you can actually watch that go down while I'm using the flaps. Coming back up. Or at least you should. It's supposed to go down. Oh well. Maybe the flaps just don't use that much hydraulic pressure.
Flaps are confirmed up, Cap.
Alright then. Brakes use a lot of hydraulic pressure, however. And also we have to close the bomb bay doors.
Closing the bomb bay doors.
Thank you. You can hear the electric motors whirring away in the background. There's an electric motor on the front and the back of those doors that opens and closes them. And the doors were now up. Alright, that concludes our startup procedure. Now there's a lot more to it. We got run up and everything else that we have to go through, which I'm going to go through. Hello. But I'm going to abbreviate everything a bit more or less. So we've got control surfaces are already checked. And we've got parking brakes still set. We're going to run the engines up to around, actually we're already almost there. 2,000 RPM is a little high, but it's okay. And now what I would do is I would check each of these magnetos. We'd go right, and then we'd go back to both. And we'd go, whoops, that's off.
Engine 3 starting.
That's the wrong one. Left, then back to both. I hit it on off for a second there, which is my bad. Anywho, and what we would do is we would check the independent magnetos for functionality this way, and watch the RPM drops on the engines over here and over here, just to check to make sure none of the magnetos were fouled. Magnetos are a special kind of spark plug that you'll find in aircraft that are powered directly by the engine and aren't as reliant on the batteries. So if the battery system fails, the magnetos will still work. There's 2 for each cylinder in each engine. Okay? We would also cycle the prop controls. The RPMs will drop dramatically because the propellers are now essentially feathered. And we bring that back up.
Captain, warmed up, ready to go.
Thank you. And we're going to bring the RPM back down to 1,000-ish. The RPM on this plane is incredibly sensitive down at the bottom. So just cut it all the way to idle and bring it back up a little bit. Get a really rough idle below 1,000. Right about there. That is where we want it. Now we can test the brakes. So I'm going to release the brakes. And I'm a little surprised we're not moving forwards. Give it a little bit more beans here. Just a hint. There we go. Now we're moving. We'll immediately test it. You can hear them creaking actually. Then we're going to test. You can see the hydraulic fluid has gone down already. About there. We're going to test the differential braking because that, and there goes the hydraulic pump. That's how this plane steers, is through differential braking. The tail wheel actually isn't steerable at all. You have to see I've got the rudder back and forth. It makes almost no difference whatsoever. And we have to be careful. We're already going 20 knots. I have to be really careful stopping from that speed. Otherwise, this thing will absolutely nose over on me. Okay, all the way down 1,000 RPM again. And you can see we're easily picking up speed, even at this really low power setting. That's true in real airplanes, by the way. Most planes will taxi just fine and gain considerable speed even at idle throttle. Alright, so now we're using the differential brakes. Differential brakes again. You can see in the bottom left every time I'm tapping it. We don't want to pivot completely on just one wheel because in real life these wheels are all retreaded because you can't get the original wheels anymore. Nobody makes them. So it's very easy to just rip the tread right off the main wheels if we were to pivot on one wheel. Otherwise, this plane would totally turn on a dime, quite literally. You can actually park one wheel literally on a dime and it will not move. The plane will absolutely pivot all the way around a single wheel. Anywho, so I'm going to cut out for just a minute and cut back in when we're on the runway. Okay, so we're more or less lined up on the runway. Lining this thing up is a piece of work, and we're pretty much ready to go. I'm just going to dial in some positive trim, which I actually already did, come to think of it. And we're going to give it a little bit of flaps, because this is a pretty short runway for a bird this size. Right there. And we should actually get airborne pretty quickly, because we're very light. We're only holding, what, 10% of our total fuel capacity, which is still enough for more or less a couple hours of economic cruising, which is crazy. So, anywho, so releasing the brakes, gentle throttle up, and actually have to lock the tail wheel, and more beans. giving it some significant right rudder at the moment to keep it on the runway. And that is full takeoff power. Tail wheels coming up.
110,
And we are airborne, just like that.
130,
Gears coming up. Look at that acceleration right off the line. We have to point the nose up, or we're going to have some problems. Still standing on the right rudder pedal a lot. Bring the flaps up now.
flaps up,
Right in the bottom of the green on this airspeed indicator over here. Just right about where we want it to be.
the tail wheel is off, 150,
Main wheel's almost up.
main wheels are up,
There you go. Now you can see the main landing gear actually stick out a little bit. The idea there is that if the plane ever does actually have to make a wheels up landing, the damage to the actual airframe will be very minimal. I mean, the ball turn obviously is a goner, so hopefully that guy got out in time. But otherwise, there will be a little bit of scraping on the aft fuselage back here under the tail, and the props will all have to be replaced, probably the engines too, and that'll be about it. But look at the climb rate this thing is getting right now. Look at that. Now, mind you, 10% fuel is all, and no bombs. It's just a plane, little bit of fuel, and some crew. The end. Anywho, though, so we're going to pull it back from takeoff power now. And we're going to bring this back. We're going to actually ask the co-pilot to manage the RPM, the cowling, and the intercoolers. Cowl flaps. So he is now managing all the extra stuff with our engines so that we don't have to anymore. Isn't that nice of him? You can see the intercooler levers moving over here on the right. That'll be these things right there. And propeller controls right there. Controls the propeller pitch and therefore controls the propeller RPM. We are in, we're going to throttle back a little bit more, bring the nose down a bit. And this will be our economical cruise right about here. If I had to cruise for a long time, this would be it. You know what? Silly me. I have no idea what that hydraulic pump is whining on about. I don't know what's using hydraulics. Trim? I don't think so. I don't think this thing has hydraulic trim. But whatever. And we are flying. In a B-17, no less. Hot dog. This plane, as you can see, has to get a lot...
our
What?
guys in the back are probably getting a little cold,
Really? Tell them to suck it up. Alright, where was I? This plane has a lot of adverse yaw. Despite that great big hulking tail in the back, turning this thing actually is an art. I'm going to show you. If you watch primarily this instrument right here, you can see if I just use the ailerons, the plane is actually slipping to the right through the air right now. If I were to drop a pencil right in the middle, it would actually fall kind of this way towards the right hand side of the plane, which isn't what we want. This is rather an uncomfortable sensation in real life. So we're going to step on the right rudder pedal until we get that ball centered, and that's where we want it to be, even for this gentle turn. That's also the most efficient place for it to be, so we're not losing speed and altitude in the turn. So now we're going to relax a little bit on the right rudder pedal, bring the plane over to the left. We have to step on the left-hand rudder pedal. More. There we go. Oh my, that's too much. Step on the ball is the term. You always want to give it more rudder in the direction that the ball is actually failing. There we go. That's a coordinated turn. Now we're going to bring it back to center. And we're going to try something else as well, just for giggles. I'm going to do an engine out procedure. I have key commands, actually, I believe, set so that I can actually manually fail one of the engines, but I don't think that'll be necessary. We'll just try, and we will bring, let's say, engine number 1 all the way to naught. Or not. That should have killed it. Nope, it's not dying. Whatever. Fine. Engine number 1, die. There it goes. Okay, so this is the left engines. You can see the manifold pressure on the left here has dropped considerably, as has the RPM. So, that engine, and actually I can even do it this way too. That engine is dead. Period, the end. And you can see, looking out the window, that the plane is gradually trying to turn to the left. But the propeller is still turning. You can see it's turning at a different RPM than the others. I'll even go outside, you can see it more obviously. See, it's at a different RPM. It's moving slower, but it is still turning. And it's causing a lot of drag. It's called a windmill effect. So what we can do, this is not properly modeled in War Thunder, we're going to feather that engine by pressing that button in. That should... There it goes. I'm going to move my viewpoint forwards a little bit so you can see that. The propeller has stopped. And you can see the propeller is now set up so that it's set, the blade is now more or less parallel to our flight path. So it's actually generating very, very little drag. You can see if it's head on, there's very little frontal area for that propeller now. And now I've got my controls perfectly centered. No rudder, no aileron, and this thing is tracking almost perfectly straight and true. Just like that. Now that's how it should be. It shouldn't be a huge, humongous difference in how the plane flies. And by the way, we're still at minimum cruise settings, and I'm still doing 180 miles an hour. No big deal. This thing will actually fly on 2 engines at this weight just fine. It'll almost fly on 1. Anywho, so we're going back inside. We're going to restart that engine. Going to unfeather the prop. Whoops. Or not. I'm confused. The button popped out. Well, let's see what happens here actually. So we're going to bring the ignition back up. We're going to bring... Hello? Oh, that's right, the co-pilot's managing that one. Alright, so we'll just start it and we'll be good. Okay. Boost is on. And engaging starter.
Sir, we've lost oil pressure.
You don't say. And that should...
Sir, our carburetor temperature, it's a bit low.
Yeah, well, no duh. Because we're just starting that engine up again. And we seem to have a little issue still because... Oh, that's why. Well, come on. Fine.
All right, Captain.
Stop managing the RPM. My RPM. I am confused. Why is the RPM not coming up on that engine? Wow. It died again. Well, fuel boost pump is still on. Ignition is on. Propeller is forward. Let's engage the starter again. Starter is engaged.
Captain, I have some music on the radio.
Not now. Still no RPM. Maybe you can't unfeather it? I don't know. This is awkward. I might come back in a minute. Okay, so we did just get it finally restarted. And it's huffing and puffing and it's getting its act together. Not sure what was up. It took multiple tries. In case... Moral of the story, don't do this in real life. Anywho, so let's go to the external view for a minute. I'm going to have a little bit of fun. I'm going to bring the engines all the way back to more or less full power. Tip the nose a little bit. Here we go. And I'm going to bring a G meter up. If you look right here, you can see what G's we're pulling. This is 200 knots. 260 knots is 300 miles per hour, and that's the red line for this airplane. So we're pulling up just a little bit. I'm going to trim it down a bit. So I want close to 260 knots. We're at full power now. We're absolutely firewalled. Can't get any more power from this airplane. You can see, though, it's really resisting me.
Captain, we should watch our speed.
Yeah, it's getting high. Now, we are going to bring the nose up. Watch, there's 1.5, 1.8. Here's 2 Gs. Right there, 2.2, 2.3. And now it's already going down. Stick is now...
There goes my coffee.
Yeah, sorry about the coffee. And stick hard back. Popping some flaps. Yeah, let's deal with it, buddy. No, come back. Flaps coming in. Throttle's coming back. Thank you. Throttle's all the way back. Watch the G. Almost 3 Gs.
Watch our speed.
Yep. There's 280 knots. We're a little bit above VNE now. Throttle's coming back up. And here we go.
Captain, engine 4 is low on fuel.
Yeah, I know. We're all good. And we are none the worse for wear. Amazing. And now we can bring the nose up, full power
Nice
again.
recovery.
Thank you. And now we're going to bring this all the way over. A little bit of right rudder.
Captain, quick question up there.
Pushing the stick forward.
Just want to make sure.
Still full right aileron. And giving it some nice right rudder now. And easing off on the rudder. And done. We just did a victory roll. So you could do aerobatics in this thing. We'll give it some kick to the left rudder here. And we'll give it a bit of a brake turn here. Stick almost hard back. We're not going very fast right
I always knew
here.
you wanted to be a fighter pilot.
Ain't that the truth? It's like so. And then we're going to bring the stick hard over. Pushing the stick forwards. Full right rudder as well. And we'll reverse back the other way.
Captain, do you want to keep me from walking on the ceiling? Jeez.
Nope, don't. And recovering.
Captain, engine 1 is low on fuel.
Yes, I know. I got it. We're good. I believe that's Charlottesville below me too, by the way. Anywho, so we're going to cut out again and come back for the landing. Okay, and we're back. We're a little bit south of Washington, D.C. at the moment. So let's see here. Nearest airport. We want... Really? It's not on here? Better be. Nearest airport. Yes. Okay. Airport's farther. It should be that one. Thank you. Alright, and we are requesting a full stop. Really? Well, alright then. We are going this way.
Captain, we're getting reception from a local radio station.
Yeah, I'm listening to ATC right now. I can't be bothered. Can't remember where I dial in the frequencies for. Oh, no. No. Aha! Right here. 109. Whoops. .1. That should bring up the ILS. Whoops. We can just land visually anyway, in any event. This thing does not like to lose speed. I've got the throttle all the way back to naught. And we are still getting a lot of frame rate loss. It's because I've got the graphics beyond max, and I've got lots and lots of other planes in the general area. So we're going to cut out until we get closer. And we are back. We've just been cleared to land. Gear is coming down, as is the flaps. This thing does not like to lose airspeed. We're actually going a little bit faster than I would like to go even right now. But at the same time, we got jets trying to come in behind us, so let's best not keep them waiting. I thought I put the gear down. There it goes. We are really high. But now, with the flaps down, causing so much drag, we can start to dip this nose down and really increase our descent rate. So much so we may actually have to give it a little bit of throttle before we actually touch down.
The tail wheel is down.
Thank you.
Both main wheels are confirmed down.
Thank you much. Giving a little bit of upward trim. We want to be right about the bottom of the yellow down here. Give or take. Gonna go a little bit to the right here.
110.
Now we have to give it a little bit of juice. Touchdown will be right about 70 knots, so we're right about where we want to be. Just a hint of juice now. So up trim right here. Inner marker, that's that blue light that just lit up. Just a hint of juice. Easing back again, we have to bring it down a little bit more. And that is the Washington Monument in the background. Alright, all throttles to idle.
100.
We're going to bring the nose gently up and brace for a wheel landing. Speed is bleeding off. Right where we want to be. Bump right there. Bounced a little bit. Stick hard back. Stall warning is going on. And applying the brakes. Here we go. Yes, yes, yes. All things in good time. We're going to turn left coming out of here. Alright, we have to bring the throttles back up to 0, which will be 1000 RPM. Flaps coming up. Throttles are now at 1000, right about where we want them. Might need just a little bit of juice to get us to the taxiway. And we'll open up the cockpit.
Flaps are confirmed up, Captain.
Thank you. A little bit of left-hand juice. Unlock the tail wheel. Yes, I know. Working on it.
Washington Tower, orbit 3909 ready to go. Runway 1 by a mark. Orbit 3909 full short. Runway 1 traffic to Boeing on the runway. Boeing 414 contact cloud on 121.7. Orbit 3909 cleared for takeoff. Runway 1.
Gotta go a little bit farther.
Cleared for takeoff. Runway
We're supposed to actually clear that line right below us. Otherwise, we'll risk getting bumped by a plane that's taking off behind us. Here we go. Right there. Parking brakes. Throttles to 1,000. And I'm just going to do the whole shutdown right here at this point. So we've got everything idle. Pull this one up. Mixtures to idle cutoff. Just like that. All fuel valves to closed. Ignition primary is off. All 4 generators are off. Hello. Inverter is off. And all 3 batteries are off. And that's a wrap, folks. We will see you all next time. Happy flying.